Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel for you to level up your communication skills, learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and personal branding to take your message to the world. For today's episode, we're entering the world of systems thinking, and I'm going to teach you how to correctly connect the dots. Have you ever had that one day when you were going through your schedule and you saw that you were about to have a very, very busy day? At that moment, you decided that there's going to be certain tasks that you have to do, and then there's going to be certain tasks that you could either eliminate or at least minimize. You decide that drinking water for the day is not as high ROI. It's going to be a task that you'll minimize. At first, in the beginning of your day, you don't notice much effects from this decision to drink less water. But as you're going about your day, you notice yourself feeling tired. You still don't make much of it because there's all this coffee around you. You could drink coffee and you can get your energy back. More hours passes on by, and at this point, the coffee's not helping. You're still feeling tired. More hours passes on by, and at this point, you're starting to get cranky. Small things are being blown way out of proportion. You're physically in a lot of these different meetings, but you're not mentally present. You're not thinking clearly. Your mind is foggy. You're not able to focus. You're missing deadlines. You're procrastinating, turning in sloppy work. And what was supposed to be a busy day today now turns into a busy day tomorrow. And still for tomorrow, you still haven't acknowledged that drinking less water may be having negative effects on you. And what is this causing you to do? History is repeating itself, and you have another busy day following that, and now you have just had a busy week. What this goes on to show is that everything, to a certain extent, whether it's a small decision or not, is connected to a much bigger system. Systems thinking basically is when you acknowledge that there is no such thing as an isolated act or an isolated entity. There's no such thing as an isolated entity. Well, Armani, I work for myself. I don't have to answer to anyone, and I am an entity. I am not a part of a bigger system. Incorrect. You are a part of a bigger system. You're just looking at it from the wrong lens. So let's talk about where you currently live. You, the entity, you live in a house. That house is located within a neighborhood. That neighborhood is located within a state. That state is located within a continent, and that continent is located within planet Earth. So you are a subsystem to something much, much greater. This is a universal law. And when you start understanding systems thinking, you stop looking at the components alone, and you start seeing the connections among the different components. This is a mega key if you want to improve your communication skills. So today, I'm going to teach you how to use systems thinking in order to become a more powerful communicator. This video is going to be broken down into a few parts. First part, I'm going to teach you what a system is. I'm going to give you some examples. The second part, I'm going to teach you about Gall's law. Trust me, this is a law that they should have taught you in school, but unfortunately they didn't, and it spills over to all parts of your life. Mega key. In the final part, I'm going to teach you how to use Gall's law to create content, whether it's a speech, whether it's an interaction, a story that you're telling a friend, or whether it's a YouTube video. You will learn how to use systems thinking in order to become more powerful with words. So if you're ready to adopt this new mindset and ditch the ways of the component thinker, make sure you drop a like right on below. So the first part, what is a system? A system is composed of two elements. There are components and there are links among the components. Combining the two creates a bigger entity. It creates an emergent property that the isolated parts alone could not create. What does all that mean? Let me give you an example. A car. A car has multiple different components. There's the steering wheel, there's the accelerator, the brake, there's a little blinker, different mirrors, all those different components. But alone, those components don't mean much. Imagine if someone just gives you a steering wheel. You're going to think, well, what do I do with this? But those components, when you start finding connections which create synergy, it gives an emergent property of a car. That right there is your Honda, your Lexus, your Toyota. All these stuff, systems are all around you in all parts of your life. Even your shoe. Your shoe is a system. The sole is a component, the shoelaces are a component, but those parts alone mean nothing. But when you combine all of those different parts, it creates something new, which is protection for your feet. So systems are all around you. So what is Gall's law? Gall's law basically states that in order to create a complex system, something huge, you need to first start off with a simple system. Amazon, for example. Amazon wasn't always an online retail store that basically sold everything. It pretty much started off just as a bookstore. They needed to validate that system. They needed to make sure that this online business model can at least sell books. Because if it can't sell books, how the hell is it going to sell all these other products? So it validated that offer. It was able to validate the simple system, the simple connections of the components. Once they were able to validate that, they were able to add on mattresses, lights, television sets, cameras, and so much more. And then it became more parts with more links, and it became a complex system. You are a complex system. For example, like your brain, your hand, your stomach alone, they don't mean anything. But a combination of all these different elements are a complex system. But in order to learn the complex system, you always need to focus on the basics, on the simple aspects. When you understand Gall's law, it becomes much easier to become a better communicator. Most people that are bad communicators, they're not focusing on the simple system. They try to jump automatically into the complex areas. But Gall's law states that complex entities will not be created without working its way up. So a speech, for example, a speech is an example of something complex. If you're thinking that, oh, I'm just going to create a speech without focusing first on the fundamentals, you know what's going to happen? You're going to overthink. You're going to focus so much on the words, the grammar, the little details that you're going to overwhelm yourself, and eventually you're not going to have a speech. You're going to quit even before you begin. So Armani, what's the correct way to approach this? Well, the correct way to approach this is to zoom out, focus on the basics, the main components of the system, and then once you've identified those, expand onto it. For example, for this video, all I focused on were the main components, just the simple system. Give an example of water, talk about what is a system, introduce Gall's law, and talk about how Gall's law ties into public speaking. These are the 4 elements. Once I understand these 4 elements, I can have fun. I can play around with it. I can add different details as needed. But I can't add in the different details until I got these 4 parts. So the next time that you're creating a blog, the next time that you're creating a speech, the next time that you are creating a story that you're going to deliver in a social interaction, focus on the simple system. Simply ask yourself, what is the point? Once you understand what is the point, it becomes much easier to spot the signal from all the static, from all the noise. And once you start understanding that, that's when you're able to see the bigger picture, you're able to connect it, and you're able to give emergent property to something brand new. The systems thinker will always win in today's hyper-connected world because there's more information than ever. If you can't see between the lines, then you are going to get caught up in all the little details and you are not going to make meaningful decisions. Learn the ability to become a systems thinker by focusing on Gall's law, which is to focus on the basics, the fundamentals, and then keep on expanding on from there and create something beautiful. Create something beautiful that you would not have been able to do if you just started from the complexity. Start off simple and work your way up, and I guarantee you, this is the winning strategy in the world of communication skills. If you're looking for more practical tips in order to become a better, confident communicator, make sure you sign up for my free daily newsletter. Every day at 7 p.m. EST, I drop practical tips on how to become a better public speaker, better charismatic superstar, and a better storyteller. To join the Level Up tribe, make sure you click the link right down below and sign up today. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.